this is partly in response to Tunnel Liner 47, who makes very interesting videos quite frequently. And it's the idea of giving credit where credit is due. And I think it's underrated or underappreciated as a concept for bringing people together rather than dividing them. That's kind of what I'm all about. I want to bring people together. I would rather build bridges than burn them. And there are many people on the political spectrum who have done and said incredibly stupid things, including our Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer. But I'd like to point out a speech he made, which people call the Island of Strangers speech, which is quite out of character, and it was sometime early last year, I believe. And many of the things he said resonated with a lot of people, and they were taken aback and think, that's not the kind of talk that this guy usually says. The point is, it was just talk. And oftentimes, politicians say what they think the people want to hear, and everybody says, hooray, that was great. And then there's no follow through. So somebody like Nigel Farage, who is painted as being far right, which is kind of ridiculous, has said many things which I would agree with and resonate with. I remember when he was making videos down on the south coast, looking at watching the migrant boats coming in. But in recent times, he's made a number of statements which indicate that if Reform do gain power at the next general election, then there will be very little real meaningful change. Unlike what Rupert Lowe and the Restore Party are saying. And I voted Reform at the last general election, mostly on the basis of what I'd heard Rupert Lowe saying. And then it was quite a disappointment, and it just seemed so wrong when he was ousted from the party early last year. I believe it was just over a year ago, under spurious circumstances, false allegations. False allegations are something I can personally relate to very strongly. There is an ongoing court case in which I'm fighting to be able to spend more time with my children, but that's another story. Partly that's also the reason why I set up this channel, because I can speak more freely if I know that my young children are unlikely to stumble across this on the internet. Anyhow, so giving credit where credit is due and recognizing that even people who most of the time say the most stupid things and do the most stupid things, they can sometimes come up with or say something which is good. And if nothing else, that means that the conversation can be focused more on something which is important rather than things which aren't, which is very often the case. I'm reminded of the idea of the question, how many angels can dance on the head of a pin or something like that. It might be vaguely interesting, but ultimately, what's the point? So anyway, thank you for watching, and I will record more thoughts in another video.